It Ends With Us movement empowers women to heal from relationship traumas and break generational cycles. We aim to create an ongoing platform for education, collaboration, and awareness, uniting industry experts and other nonprofits to support communities affected by emotional abuse and domestic violence. Together, we are creating a movement where women support women, where we learn to recognize our worth, and where we commit to ensuring that the traumas we experienced stop with us. We are stronger together, and together we can end these cycles.
Hi, everyone. Today I'm here with Jenni Noia. She is a mindset coach, and she was actually on my show before. We talked about you're getting through your breaking point and really breaking through in different ways that can help you through life. And we shared a lot of great things. So if you haven't seen that episode, go check it out. We're going to talk about the narcissist next door and how you find your peace in a world full of them. And today we're here, we're going to start talking about what the word narcissist really means and how to overcome peace after dealing with someone who is a narcissist. The word narcissist, I really don't like the word, but there has to be a word to explain the type of behavior and really how we're protecting, how to protect your peace in a world full of them. And Jenni, I'm here with her today to kind of go over just in general, like everything about it. I think it's a great conversation. We've had conversations about this before. Just about the personality of a narcissist. And we've had great conversation. And I said, why don't we have a podcast and just talk about it? Because I think other people need to hear about it, being real. So before I talk about that, though, I want everyone to understand like why you became a mindset coach. I can share a little bit about myself too, but I want everyone to know like what brought you to become a mindset coach.
I would like to say it's probably because of communication and just that wanting to understand myself and other people and relationships. And the mind is how we understand things. And so, we can love somebody so much and feel like that's real love, but a lot of times it's attachment and it's trauma bonding, and we're all walking around calling that love, not only us, but the people that we're in relationships with. And so there tends to be a communication barrier. So anyways, when I found mindset coaching, I felt like I stepped into a whole new world of consciousness where I was able to understand things from a higher perspective and understand the why of communication, basically, and understand all of these unconscious beliefs that we've been working with that we can kind of break down. As a mindset coach, that's what I do. I will break down people's thoughts and emotions and see how they drive our actions and how we keep getting these same results. And then we start to shift and change those, but you have to bring awareness to it first. So a mindset coach doesn't just really inspire people all the time. It's really bringing self-awareness to the whole perspective for you and for other people to just have more harmonious relationships.
Yeah. I think coaching, I think in every industry everyone has a coach. And I feel like a lot of people spend money on like the outside, your outside appearance, and your people can spend money on a sales coach. But at the end of the day, it's your mind. Like sometimes so many people walk around with all these thoughts in their head and they're wondering, why am I crazy? Like what's wrong with me? And I think when you have someone to actually ask these open questions to kind of get through your thoughts, it gets you to think about life and think about yourself. And when you say coaching, it's not, like you said, it's not that you're advising someone.
Right.
You're not telling someone what to do. You're actually trying to pull their thoughts out of questions that you ask.
Yeah, there's such a thing called an accountability coach, and that's what you'll see in the fitness community, and you'll see a lot of accountability coaches in a lot of business spaces. And I am not necessarily an accountability coach. I'm not that at all, actually. I'm a causal coach. So I get to the root cause, and my coaching is psychology-based, so it's really centering around beliefs and mindset and perspectives, like how we can shift into this new version of ourselves, how we can really take a lot of responsibility for our own actions, because we really can't change other people. We can only change ourselves. Mm-hmm. And this is what I say to all of my clients all the time, to everyone, and I sound like a broken record. You can't change other people. You can only change yourself. Once you change yourself, you will see the outside world start to reflect those new beliefs and those new actions. You're going to start getting new results from changing yourself.
Right. You can't change yourself, and you can only control what you can control. I think that's what drove me to get certified as well, is like that, wanting to help others see that light too. I think it's really important. And when you get that, the first thing is awareness. But I think that when you get everything out and you help someone else, that makes you feel like, wow, like if you're able to help yourself with coaching, how do you help others? And that's really what drove me to want to do it, is if I can help myself through this journey, I want to be able to help others do it. And I think that's really important.
And you have lived experience, which is everything. I mean, you have it embodied because you have lived experience. And that's something that you can't learn from a book, and you can't learn from going away to school. Like, you actually lived it, you feel it, you embody it. And so it makes you a credible teacher. It makes you somebody who is worth listening to, because you've done it, you've been through it, you changed your whole life, you changed yourself, and now you can do it for other people. And you can see from that higher perspective of what they are lacking or what they are doing, what they're not doing, and you can help direct them.
Now, in addition to like learning about coaching, I think research on all these different subjects that you kind of, when you coach people, you learn so much about people in general. When you go through life experiences, you learn about people. You were in the hair business. I was in my mom's hair business growing up, and then I got into banking and commercial in the corporate world, and that's all I do is meet people and all different kinds of personalities and people. And I think that when you have that experience of really understanding people, and you go through the ups and downs of meeting people who do things that are like, do things to you that are just like eye-opening to you, because you wouldn't expect it, because you're not that type of person. That's when you start asking yourself, like, well, why and how does this happen? And I think the word narcissist, like I said, it is like, I don't really like the word, like to label it a word, but
there's a lot of stigma around that word.
Yeah, there's a lot of stigma. I mean, I heard it like 10 years ago for the first time. I heard the word. So I didn't really understand what it meant. But I think it has a lot of correlation with like even the word domestic violence. Like it's just a stigma. Everybody thinks like domestic violence is physical. Like, no, it's not. It's so much more than that. It's emotional, sexual, all these different kinds of abuses. But at the end of the day, when we think about narcissism and domestic violence or control, whatever, at the end of the day, it boils down to the word control. And we talked about that. So I want your perspective on like that word. Like, what is it? What does narcissism mean? And what are the boundaries that, like, what actually does it look like in an everyday life?
Well, not everybody is diagnosed with NPD. There is a small percentage of people who are diagnosed as narcissistic personality disorder. So it's really a word that kind of gets thrown around, and people are constantly calling someone a narcissist. But we really do need to have that language for what is happening to someone when they are being abused, either physically or emotionally. and who that person is, why they act the way they are, why they do the things that they do, why they lack that empathy that we as empaths assume everyone has and is working with. They just don't have that. And so that empathy. And there can be many, many people out there who have narcissistic traits, but they are never going to be diagnosed as narcissistic personality disorder because they're not a true narcissist, which means they do have empathy. They do know how to love. But then there's part of them, which is essentially their nervous system, that truly just does not know how to regulate themselves, to not control. Like they're trying to stay safe. And by staying safe, that means controlling you or whoever they're trying to control. Whether that means controlling the perception of themselves or controlling you and getting you to do what they want you to do so they can be happy. But the main thing to look at is, okay, if I can't change them, what can I change? I could change myself. So as an empath, what are you controlling? How are you controlling the dynamic? And that's where the work is am I people pleasing? Am I afraid to lose this person? What am I doing where I'm afraid, where I am in control? Because all of that stems from control too, is the habits that the empath does that creates this trauma bond, this perfect trauma bond with the narcissist, and you're just both regulating your nervous systems on each other. And there's really no way out unless somebody exits the pattern. Like somebody needs to be the one to put a stop to it, to interrupt the pattern, I should say.
Do narcissists ever think that they're wrong or heal themselves?
No, they're in their own mind. They're in their own belief system. This is what's fascinating about human behavior is, everyone really truly does believe their own reality. Not too many people are able to hold duality and hold this perspective of, oh, I could see why this would be hurtful for them, or I can understand where they're coming from. And I will say most empaths do have that quality where they're able to, see both sides of things sometimes. And that's why you'll see them apologizing a lot and taking too much responsibility. Whereas you'll see narcissists, most of them, like living in the world where they never believe that they're wrong. But beliefs are a very crazy thing because there is no talking someone out of something if they're not in a place where they are ready to want to understand where you're coming from.
I don't think narcissists ever, I don't think they don't want to hear anybody out. It's just they want to control what they can control, and that's it. It's literally like, I always say this, it's like saying, no, the sky's not blue. It's green. No, the sky's blue. No, it's green. It's actually you just can't, you cannot actually compromise or communicate or talk through with a narcissist. So these things, when that happens, it's so hard, and especially in relationships where you're in a relationship and you just have no way out, or you think you have no way out, or you're in a marriage with kids. I mean, there's just a lot where people are stuck in this bond that they can't leave. But I did, this is where I come, and I did a lot of research on understanding the why based on my personal experiences of understanding why and how does a narcissist become a narcissist? Where does it get developed? And, we talked about this as well, it's childhood. It's and I can't say it enough, but what a child sees growing up, and it's how they look at someone, and it's just like a generational thing, how they look at their parent. There's lies, there's manipulation. I never knew that growing up. I never knew how to lie or knew how to manipulate. Right. So where does that, what's your take on that? Where does that come from? The learning how to lie and manipulate, and just this culture that this child learns and then this is all they know.
Well, they're trying to stay safe, really. I mean, if they do have an abusive parent or somebody who is constantly emotionally abusive, when the child is that young, that's their only person they can trust. So, like, having any type of sovereignty at the age of 5 or 6, that just doesn't exist. Like, you're looking at this parent to take care of you, and you trust them 100% because that's your caregiver, and you don't know any different. And if you try to question any of that, it's like being thrown out into the wild. Like, you really can't survive. So it's basically from a survival state where they're just, that's all they know. That's all they've been, that's all they've been introduced to and have been around. I mean, they might see different scenarios when they're at other people's houses and things like that, and different dynamics. And obviously, the older they get, they could start to see things. But your brain is already developed. You know, it's already developing up to age 7. That's where, like, a lot of these patterns are already just kind of embedded into you. And so if you have been in this, like, living in this house with a really abusive parent, or very narcissistic themselves, or constantly just like getting neglected, you know, emotionally abused, physically abused, that could definitely do some damage. And the funny thing is, sometimes it just creates an empath. Sometimes it creates a narcissist, and sometimes it creates an empath. Mm-hmm. Both are really, truly just, they have just different attachment styles and different nervous systems, and they're both trying to stay safe. So, not trying to, like, give the narcissist any, like, props here or anything, but they don't know any different, just like the empath doesn't know any different. They're both just trying to stay safe, and they do that in very different ways. But they both do it from control, and control is, whereas the empath is controlling, is the same thing, like fear of losing them, you know, not wanting to trust themselves, so they trust them instead. Like, they're more easily manipulated. And so that's what the empath has to start really looking at, is like, where am I being controlled? How can I pull back? How can I stop betraying myself? How can I trust myself? Because that's another thing we were talking about. Like, you have this guilt running through your subconscious, this shame, because the people who've been manipulating you have made you believe these things about yourself, that you're not good enough, you're not going to go anywhere, you can't be anything more than what you are right now. They've done the work.
There's an acronym that's called FOG. Like,
yeah, and I had never heard of that.
Yeah, when someone's in that, like, that state where they're in a relationship with someone, they don't realize that what's going on until it's like they're in it. And it's called fog, where their brain just fogs up, and it's F is for fear. And so, like, they're, like you said, you fear that, you know, what's happening if I leave? What am I going to do? You fear what they're going to say, what they're going to do to you. Obligation, like, you feel like obligated that you've sacrificed, or you chose to marry this person, or you had children with this person, or now you're in this relationship, whether you're dating, you're like, oh, well, I'm far in this. I've invested all this time, and you feel obligated, and because you're in fog. And then the G is guilt. Mm-hmm. So really, those three things are what happens. Your brain goes into this fog where it kind of shuts down who you are as a person, mm-hmm. and it brings you in a whole different realm. It's like, yeah, I mean, I've been there.
You don't
before.
know what to believe, and you're confused. And that's a really big weapon that they use against you, is they want you confused. They need you confused. They need you second guessing yourself, because you're not in your power when you're all of those things.
Right. And then when you're a child, you really, you don't know any better. Mm-hmm. So when you're being manipulated, you think that this is just the way it goes. So literally,
you internalize it all.
Yeah, you internalize it all. Or if you don't have another parent, if you have another parent who's being abused, mm-hmm. by the narcissist or by the person who's trying to control everything, then that parent cannot help that child out. So mm-hmm. a lot of times that parent, if that other parent is not strong enough to, you know, tell the child, like, you know, everything's going to be okay, this is just the way, you know, whatever. If you don't have, like, a level set parent in mm-hmm. the situation, yes, the child could become the same way. Or they could become an kind of like a people pleaser, like someone who's an empath of just kind of, okay, this is the way it goes. But I feel like now we have so much education and awareness, and we're talking about it more. People are talking about it more. So when you think about adults, like, adults that have children or that you're in an adult relationship, how do you, what's your take on like the signs, to start looking for in when you start a relationship, and how to set those boundaries from the get-go?
I would look at yourself first and look at the parts of you that are looking for approval and looking for validation outside of yourself, and really looking at, like, there's this place of almost innocence within yourself, or it's a place of not feeling good enough. Those are all those little crevices that are so important, because it's how narcissists hook you. It's how they get in. They know those weak spots. They know those buttons to push, just like a parent usually knows those buttons to push, you know. They know it too, because you gave it away, because you fell in love, or you really liked them, or they, you guys were becoming best friends all of a sudden or something. So it's like knowing that and not trying to prove. So it's almost like becoming aware of those things. And I really want to be careful with, like, you don't want to be super guarded and have your guard up constantly and like, there's no one I can trust, and don't let anybody in, because that's not good either at all. But to develop discernment and just, let them show you a little bit more before you start giving away your innocence, before you start giving away all of the goodness and love within you, because that's so precious. And a lot of times they just don't know how to hold it, and they don't want to hold it. They don't even want to look at it, because then they can't control you. If you see your power and you could see how amazing you are, then they can't control you anymore. So that's no use to them.
I think that takes a lot of work, and that's something that I preach and I talk about, is like all the work that I put in my life, in the 25 years of life, of my journey. And I feel like you have to put in a lot of work. You have to put in a lot of work in yourself. It's not just it's not just like a few sit downs with a therapist, or it's not just like if you have a 12-week continuous talk with your coach or anything. Like, it goes so much deeper than that, and it's like you got to put in the work mentally, physically. You have to heal through the process, and there's a lot of things that you can do to heal. But at the end of the day, when you think about like those little cracks and crevices, like, as long as you're your true, authentic self, and I've learned this,
yes.
Like, as long as you stand your ground and say, like, well, no, this is what I want to do. Like, I have, there's power in that, because it will push the narcissist away. It will push the person who wants control of your life. Like, a relationship is not about control. A relationship is a partnership.
Yeah.
And it's not about control. Some relationships, if you get together young, you heal together. But some relationships, if you get together as you're older, there's so many people that are just stuck in their ways of this wanting to control somebody else. But I feel like when you are in your true, authentic self, and you stick with your boundaries, it's hard. It's hard to stick with boundaries.
It's like the antidote, I feel like, being authentic, because as long as you're authentic and you are choosing yourself, it's hard to be authentic. We all know it's hard to be authentic, because you have to do the thing that nobody else is doing and say the things no one else is saying, and you're going to risk losing everyone in your life pretty much if you are authentically you. But it's also the perfect lane to stand in to weed out anyone who is trying to control you. Yep. Because you're essentially saying, like, I'm going to be me, and I'm authentic, and this is who I am and what I'm here for, what I'm going to do. You set your boundaries. They can either stay or they can go. You, as an authentic person, you're not saying, like, well, I need you to stay. I really need you to stay. You're kind of like, you've made peace with them leaving if they need to leave. Right. Like, you're okay with that, which means you're not in control.
Right. You're not in control. And if that person truly does love you,
Yeah.
they're going to accept that and like, yeah, let's grow together. But narcissists, it's hard because they don't have that, like, they don't have that love, that empathy. They don't, a true one is like, there's no empathy at all. Like there is no remorse for their actions. If they put someone down and make them feel like the dirt on the ground, like there's no remorse. And there's people walking around in our world that literally have no empathy and no remorse.
It's so sad.
There's no people skills. They can put on a mask for everybody and a show.
That's the
for
thing.
everybody.
Sometimes everybody loves them. Sometimes they just look like the perfect person on the outside.
Right.
I mean, you see it all the time. Like, it's very easy. Like, people are good. They know how to hide. They know how to manipulate you. They know how to manipulate in the most subtle ways. You won't even know what happened to you, and there's a lot of triangulation. That's how you're going to notice a lot of narcissists is they don't really usually work alone. Like sometimes they do, but they are always dragging in other people. There's always got someone else next to them. There's always usually a triangulation situation happening where they are getting other people against you too, kind of behind your back.
Explain more about triangulation, because I feel like people don't really understand that concept as well.
Yeah, so it's going to be between you and the narcissist and then one or more people. Like, it could be a group of people, a group of friends, or it could be, people at your work, or it could be a family member. Okay, let's just say you're married to someone, but they are constantly talking to one of your parents about you, and you guys are always, you're always like defending yourself. You find yourself constantly defending yourself to your parent and to your spouse. And they both are always like, maybe thinking you're wrong or something, or communicating with each other behind your back. And you're kind of like late to the party. Like, what? Why didn't anybody tell me? Like, hello?
Yeah.
And so you're going to feel like you're going crazy. You're going to feel like you're going crazy.
I feel like that's just like, it's almost like, it's like a bully.
Yeah.
Like, they're going behind your back.
Yes.
Or they're just talking about you. Like, people do that every single day.
Because they're controlled. They're trying to control, and they can't control you by themselves. They need other people in to pull the strings.
If you have the energy to get someone else involved, start talking bad about other people. I mean, I teach my 9-year-old kid about like bullying, and I've taught him that from the get-go. Like, if someone's bullying you, they're either not getting enough attention at home, or they're just miserable with themselves. Like, they're insecure with themselves.
Yes.
There is no reason why to talk about other people. I honestly can't stand it when people just sit at a table and start talking about everybody else's life. For me, that energy kind of pulls away.
And you just know, like, well, you're probably talking about me too when I'm not here. If you talk about everybody,
right.
That's what I always think.
Yeah, and I think that's a very common trait of someone who is trying to control you, and they try to get all these people in on your side. Like, it's all a manipulation trap.
Yeah, well, controlling the narrative.
Yeah, and then the empath fears, like, oh my gosh, now they said my friend doesn't like me, or this, or she's mad at me, she's going to be mad at me. No, as long as you stay. And that's always kind of circled me back, where I was like, no, I'm not. I know who I am as a person. Like, no. You're not gonna say all these things. Like, I know who I am. So continue to do that. But it's just it's a sad way to live. It really is sad. It's like they're living in this mask of like a dark soul, where they can't get out. And unfortunately, that's it. So they're usually
threatened by you in some way. That's why they're talking about you, or that's why there's something that you have that they want, and they probably aren't even conscious of this, but they are starting to see they can't get it from you anymore. Like, you're not feeding them in a way anymore, because you've started to become a little bit more authentic and letting go of what people think, and they can't hook into you like they used to. And so that's very threatening for them. And it might just be, and there's a lot of like jealous friends out there too. Like, there's so many things you just don't see You know, there's some people that like try to take on your personality. I've heard some crazy stories. Like some people literally, some girls try to like be like single white female, you know, like they try to like be you and do all the things you're doing. Like there's some really crazy, creepy things out there that you got to just be aware of. But no one really tells you to be aware of them.
Right.
So it's like you have to practice discernment. And by doing that, you have to align with your true self. You have to really stop your own controlling patterns, stop your, break through fear, face fear, because otherwise you're just aligning with them. Law of attraction, you're just, control attracts control. You're just controlling in different ways.
Yeah. And aligning with yourself is a challenge for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
identity work.
Yeah, rebuilding your identity is key, and that's, some people like always ask me like, oh, how do you do it? Like, well, it's a process. It's not it's not easy. You're not going to just, you're not just going to heal from it. You're not just going to recover. It's part of, it's the work you got to put into yourself, and you have to, but setting the boundaries I think is really important. But how do you set boundaries? You have to be yourself. Like, what you actually think about what you want out of life. Do you want to live this life of being controlled and being constantly imbalanced in your nervous system? Do you want to live, if you want to live that way?
Well, some people are addicted to drama and they don't even know.
Yeah. But if you live that way, it's like, that's the life you're choosing, then that's your life you're choosing. Then but there are a lot of people who come to me that are like, that want to get out or that want help. And they're like, how do I, where do I start? And I think the important thing is being aware first and knowing what you want, but knowing the facts of the other person, like knowing about narcissism. And that's what, knowing the research behind it, like your brain, the people that are like this, their brains are wired, just like you said, like when you're a child, like your brains are wired. So you have to be able to kind of pick up on these signs of, okay, this person is being controlling. But again, like I have faith. I have faith in love. I have faith in relationships, and that's a big thing. But a lot of people they don't want to trust. Like you said, they don't want to get back into any relationship because of a relationship that they've been through in the past. They're scared. And I think that's not a way that you want to live. You got to get out of that funk, out of that zone, because you have to be able to trust people. There are a lot of good people in the world. But the world is not all cupcakes and rainbows. It's, the world is filled with people that are, that end up killing their spouses and their ex-girlfriends, or, it's just sad, the world we live in. But this is a two-way street. I feel like it happens with men and females.
Definitely.
There's men narcissists, then there's female narcissists who will break down the man. So I think men need to know too, of, not allowing a woman kind of control them and take over their life and the way that they want to live. And it goes back to like past generations in our era, and what, the woman's supposed to stay home and clean and cook and take care of the children while the husband provides and doesn't cry. The men don't have feelings. Men don't, shouldn't be crying, and women should be doing this. Like, there's all these sets of rules, and there's no rules. Like, it's partnership. It's like, there's women now more successful than men. Like, it's a partnership, that we're not in competition of this life. Life is not about competition. Yeah. And when you try to be someone else, like you said, there's some girls that like let's be, you can take different things and learn different things from people. But like, at the end of the day, you really have to think about who you are as a person and just be you and not care what people think. I think, what would you say that, like, the one thing that, what's the one shift that will just shift someone from, like, does someone just wake up and say, like, I want I need to change, or like, what's that shifting moment in someone's mindset to say like, I gotta do something about this. I gotta change where I'm at in life. Like, what does that look like? And you've dealt with a lot of people too, that kind of like, they're coming to you for a reason, and they're coming to talk. I mean, that's the first step, is being aware. But then what's that shift where you see that they finally like, all right, they're in it. They got it now. They're doing good. Like, what's...
I do feel like that's a level of embodiment when they finally got it, because it's consciousness. So much of it is like they're at this level of awareness where they can understand and know what they're looking at. And so they're truly coming at it from a higher perspective. But when they're in the middle of it, as far as like a breaking point or just a deciding factor, I would say it's all these micro moments. I mean, think about it. Like, how many fights do you get in with a person when you're like, especially like a spouse, and you're like, that's it. Like, we might get divorced. We might not get divorced. We might get divorced. We might not get divorced. Like, it's all of these fights or all of these moments in time when you're constantly trying to fix and you're in that repair state. Okay. But like, what if you stopped trying to repair? Like, it's really looking at all those things that you've been doing and how you've been trying to manage the relationship, manage their emotions, manage your relationship together and how you guys understand each other. And you're not really like flipping it all and coming at it from a completely different place where you're changing your actions. That's when things truly start to change. When you're just like, because look if you're not afraid to lose the relationship and you're not in fear anymore, you're not going to be repairing. You're not going to be the one apologizing and trying to get them to understand. You're kind of just like taking your hands off the wheel. Like, whatever's meant to be will be. Like, you have to trust in a higher power a lot of times. You have to really have faith. You have to see and believe that there's a bigger reason for why you're in this, and trust that you'll be okay if you're not with that person anymore. Because you're going to feel afraid to leave that person or the group or the workplace. It's going to be scary. It's kind of designed to be scary.
Yep.
So you have to face all that. And then when you start doing these things, your body and your mind starts to learn new patterns and starts to collect evidence and data of like, oh yeah, last time I trusted myself, it actually all worked out. Last time I said no and set a boundary, they didn't like it, but everything seemed to get better, So it's like this accumulation of all of these moments in time. I mean, it's growth, but when you really change your patterns and really face fear, that's when the pattern starts to change. That's when they finally get it and they understand it.
Yeah, you're shifting what you used to do all the time and accept this kind of behavior, and you're kind of shifting your way to a whole different, you're
not walking on eggshells anymore around them. Like, they're critical of you. They're constantly pointing out things that you're doing wrong or bad, or if they're, trying to make you second guess yourself, you're just like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to step on the eggshells loudly. Like, I'm going to do whatever I want, and you can watch, And so when you get into this place of like, I don't care anymore. I can't. Like, you can't care anymore.
Right. Mentally, physically, everything. You're like, you're so drained, and it's like, but I mean, when there's kids involved, when there's a woman who doesn't have a job, that's where, they're depending on the finances. Like, there's so much to it. And that's why, that's why there's so many resources that you can get help with. But
it's scary. It's definitely scary.
It is scary. But I think putting the work into yourself is key, like understanding yourself, your mindset, and kind of getting the work through in your mind. And then figuring out a plan. There's got to be a plan, but at first you need to kind of figure out your mindset, and that's why it's good to have somebody to kind of guide you through that and kind of pull those traumas out of you that you don't normally, you wouldn't normally do that with a friend. You can talk to your friends and you can have a support system, but at the end of the day, you need help. You need help with someone who understands, and to talk about it. But I mean, going back to the whole, the protecting your peace, that there could be a narcissist right next door and you don't even realize it. You could be with somebody and you don't realize it. I think it's just, again, the word could be thrown out there, but there has to be a word to describe what this personality is. And if someone is going to, someone's going to understand a narcissist, they're not going to see them on the surface level. So if you're a surface level friend with a narcissist and you just kind of go out, drink beers, do whatever.
No, they want something always from you.
Yeah.
Narcissists want something from you.
There's always something. There's always that inner, there's something behind their friendship. There's something behind
They don't just
it.
want to be friends.
Right. Yeah. So even in friendship, it could happen. Friendship and your parents. I mean, it's just very scary. But again, it's the world we live in. So if you're not one, how do you protect your peace? And that's what we talked about today. But if you encounter narcissists, and if you encounter these type of people, you have to have the boundaries. You have to have control of yourself. Like you said, you got to have to kind of put some selfishness in yourself. Like, nope, I'm not responding. This is where it's going to say. This is the response I'm going to give. They're not going to go in my energy. And and when they try to apologize and you have the continuous over and over apology, or they keep on repeating the same actions, you have to kind of cold turkey cut it off completely, because they are going to try to reel you in. And so that strength within you has to be very strong, and you have to be able to put in the work in yourself. Because if you don't, you're not going to be strong. You're going to be weak. You're going to get pulled in, and that one little that one little crack, you'll get pulled in, and that's it. Even with friendships, with, like you were telling your story the other day about the store. That was funny.
The Lowe's guy, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you could get pulled by someone at the store. Like, you're like, oh my God, how did they sell me on that?
How did this guy get into my energy field? Like, what the heck?
Yeah, I mean, you could be sold by anybody, but like, and that's happened to me too. Like, I'm like, well, why did I even buy that? Like, I got sold.
Yeah.
It's like, you get sucked in.
Well, there's a thing like close through proximity too, like control through proximity. And so that's how a lot of narcissists actually can get to you. Like, they need to be around you. They're going to keep tabs on you. They're going to know what you're doing. They might be checking your social media always. Like, they want to know what you're up to, and they want to be in your energy field because they get something from it. I don't know what, because I'm not like that. But like, I'm
There
like,
you go.
dude, let me just be by myself. I want to be by myself. But like, that's how they operate. They really need to get in your energy field. And one could just call this love or friendship, or we just want to hang out. We just want to see you. Do you though? Like, do you feel drained after you're done being with them and hanging out with them? Because that's a huge sign, right. Like they're doing something. They're either siphoning information from you. Sometimes they just get you to talk and overshare. And then they just they want to know things about you. Sometimes they're trying to triangulate you. Not everybody is in it for your best interest. Not everybody wants to see you succeed. And I hate saying that because it sounds so depressing and like a Debbie Downer, but I really wish somebody would have told me years ago. I really wish I wouldn't have been so naive, because I don't think like that, and I really want the best for people, and I like when people win. And
so you don't pay attention to all these little things and that people do. It's like, what are you even?
Right.
Yeah, you realize
you don't even know what's happening.
No, you don't know what's happening.
They don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
They don't even know. Okay, so that's what
subconsciously,
that's what the hard thing is too. They don't know, but just kind of get in the habit too of like, what does this person want from me? Like, just kind of just go there a little bit and think, especially when you're around new people, and see how they react when you say no, you can't hang out, or when they're not getting something from you that they're used to getting from you, because a lot of that is like control through proximity. And it seems weird because it's like, they don't get anything from me. Well, yeah, they're getting something from you, being around your energy, and like they're taking something from you whether you know it or not. And you'll know that if you feel drained afterwards. So it's like, if you're kind of getting that feel, like, what does this person maybe want from me? Or do they want money? Sometimes people are like giving, sometimes they'll hook you in with sob stories, and they'll try to get you to feel bad for them. And, you will give them money or you'll help them out or something. You know, like there's so many little things that people do. There's even empaths, okay? There's even toxic empaths that are like, look at what happened to me, and they're in this victim consciousness, and they will go find everywhere they can to get people to feel bad for them so they can get what they want too sometimes. Like it's all, and then it's just the cycle. So it's like you really have to be authentically you. You have to not be afraid. It's so hard. It's hard to not be afraid. But like you have to get in your power. You got to get in your power. And you are powerful. People are powerful.
Yep, they are. Yeah, I think, we can end it right there. I feel like power is the key to success in life. I mean, putting the work into yourself, knowing, being in your true power is like so liberating. It's amazing. You know, not letting other people affect you. If
you're self-sourcing, which means you're in a place of wholeness, closer to wholeness. You know, we all have our little cracks here and there, but like,
of course.
And you don't do that to other people. You know, you don't do, when you're in this like wholeness, you're not trying to go siphon people and get them to do things for you, or you're not really worried about what people think. You've let go of what people think. Like if you're authentic, you've let go of what people think. And that's what holds a lot of people hostage.
Yeah, they care about what other people think. I mean, I think, again, going back to what you said, alignment, when you're aligned with your true self, it's just a beautiful thing. But you have to let all the negative energy around you, just shut it out. And
even the media.
Yeah.
Think of the media and the government and all that like as one big narcissist.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? They're pulling the strings. Everyone's trying to like fight for your attention. And if you take the bait, you're hooked. They have you.
Yep. The media, your phones, everything that you're observed, everything you think about your life and if you have the power in yourself, what do you do on a daily basis? How do you spend your time? Because life is about your time and your power.
Boundaries for yourself. That's like a lot of boundaries for yourself too,
and
which it's hard.
And we only have one life, and utilizing every hour, every second to get in your power and make an impact somehow. I mean, that's, figuring out your why. Why are you here? I mean, we are all vessels of we're all vessels of our parents. Our children are vessels of us. But like at the end of the day, you're here to teach your kids, and parents are there to teach their kids the right things. But if you're not true to yourself, you're either going to continue this generational cycle of kids who grow up into adults who don't have boundaries, don't get held accountable, all these things. So the power is just lost, and the kids, it's just an ongoing cycle. So I think it's really important to, step into your power, not let the noise get to you, and really think about what you're doing on a daily basis and how you're making an impact, not only in your life, but your children's lives. And we can't change narcissists.
No.
It's the bottom line. You can't change them. They are who they are, and they are going to try to control everything that you do, and you can't change them. So you have to.
And it's a lonely path. It can be a lonely path when you are escaping a narcissist, and you don't really have anyone that maybe understands you, or friends don't get it yet, or something like that. It can be very lonely, especially even just aligning with authenticity. So really just truly trusting yourself, like keep coming back to trusting yourself, keep coming back to like learning what is what's your intuition and what the outside noise is, because we're really good at gaslighting ourselves. And there's this whole mindset, there's this whole like inner dialogue happening where we're self-sabotaging and everything. So you got to keep coming back to like trusting yourself and in your truth. And the goal, as far as like the why, is like, because you want to have healthy, clean connections. You want to connect with people. You want to have relationships where you don't have to be like holding up a shield the whole time. Like, this person, what does this person want from me? Like you want to have easy, loving, true unconditional love relationships where no one's trying to like manipulate you. Nobody's trying to control you for their personal gain. And they do exist. Those relationships do exist. People like that do exist. You will never find them unless you get in your authentic path. You have to be authentic.
Yep. And so I appreciate you coming to talk with me about this, because I think people need to hear it more. People need to hear the reality. We have so much awareness and education now, and you can't do it alone. Just like you became, I mean, I got certified too to become a mindset coach to help other people, but I put the work in myself. You put the work in yourself. Like, you have to invest. You can't,
That's another thing
you can't heal alone. You
Yeah.
have to invest in yourself. You have to do something to grow yourself.
Yeah.
Invest in it. There's so many things, and there's so many ways that you can invest in yourself. And I talk about it through my nonprofit. I talk about it, and you talk about it every single day that you post a video. It's about educating other people and helping other people see the light. And I'll say, like, when I was going through my journey, I saw you on social media. The little things that were said and that you listened to, they all add up and they all make a difference.
Yeah.
So if you're out there and you are going through a situation that you're with someone who's narcissistic or controlling or whatever, and you're in this situation, put the work in yourself, because they are not going to change. So you have to put in that effort. Put the work in yourself and really invest in you. And there's so many tools and things that you can do to be better, to be stronger, and to be more aware, and to just live life fully and more in alignment. And it's really important. It's important for life, because you never know what tomorrow brings. So thank you guys for joining us today. And that's it. We'll see you in the next show.